In this video, let's go ahead and practice the division standard algorithm, where we're going to go ahead and find the quotient for each of these values. Remember, a quotient just means that we're finding the answer to a division problem. I encourage you to grab some paper, something to write with, and let's do some math together. Let's go ahead and start with number 1, where we have 174 divided by 2. Now, let's go ahead and take this 174, that's going to be our dividend, that's going to go inside our division house. And let's go ahead and take this 2, which is our divisor, and put it to the left side. We're going to see how many times 2 fits into 174. So first, how many times does 2 fit into 1? Well, it fits in 0 times because it's bigger than it, so we're going to put a 0 here. So let's go ahead and see how many times does 2 fit into 17? Well, 2 times, 6 is 12, 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 8 is going to be 16, and 2 times 9 would be too much because that's 18. So let's go ahead and put an 8 here. So 8 times 2 is going to be 16. Let's go ahead and put that 16 here. And let's see and subtract to see how far we were off by. So 17 minus 16 is going to be 1, and that's our remainder. So let's go ahead and bring this 4 down and just repeat the process. So now let's just go ahead and repeat the process, see how many times 2 fits into this 14. Now, it turns out 2 times 7 is 14. So let's go put a 7 up here, right? And then so we can say that 7 times 2, that's going to be 14. So let's go ahead and put a 14 over here and subtract to see what our remainder is. Now 14 minus 14 is going to be 0. So that is going to be the end of our problem. So the answer to this problem, or the quotient, is going to be this 87. Let's go ahead and put that where our answer is. Remember, the top of this problem is going to be where the quotient is. That is going to be our answer. It turns out that 2 fits into 174 87 times. Here's number 2. In number 2, we have 392 divided by 4. So let's go ahead and put this 392 inside the division house. That's our dividend, so 392. Let's go ahead and take this 4 and put it on the outside as our divisor. Let's see how many times this 4 fits into 3. Well, it's bigger than it, so it's not going to fit in a whole number of times, so put a 0 here. Now, does 4 fit into 39? For sure. 4 times 10 is 40, which is too much, so I think we're going to have to go with 9. So let's go and put a 9 up here, because that fits in 9 times. So 9 times 4, that's going to be 36. Let's go ahead and put a 36 under the 39 and subtract. So 39 minus 36 is going to be 3, and that's our remainder. So let's go ahead and bring down this 2 and repeat the process. So now we have how many times does 4 fit into 32? I think 4 times 8 is exactly 32. So we're going to put an 8 up here. So 8 multiplied by this 4 is exactly 32. So let's see what the remainder is. 32 minus 32, the remainder is 0. So we know this went in evenly. So this 4 fits into 392 98 times to be exact. So that's going to be our quotient. It's 98. All right, let's check out number 3. In number 3, we have 2,190 divided by 5. So this 2190 is going to be our dividend. Let's go ahead and put that inside the house here, 2190. Let's go ahead and divide that by 5. Now 5 is going to be our divisor. So let's see how many times 5 fits into this big number. Now, how many times does 5 fit into 2? Well, it's bigger than it, so not a whole number of times. Let's put a 0 here. Now, how about 5 into 21? Now, 5 times 4 is 20, and I think that's as close as we can get. So let's put a 4 here. So if it's in 4 times 5 is 20. So let's make sure the remainder is less than 5 here. So what's 21 minus 20? 1 minus 0 is going to be 1, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So as long as the remainder here is less than 5, which is 1, then we're good to go. Let's go ahead and bring down this 9 and just repeat the process. So now we have 19. So how many times does 5 fit into 19? So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20, which is too much. So let's go with 3 here. All right, let's go ahead and take this 3, multiply by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Let's see how much we were off by. And let's make sure our remainder is less than 5. So 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So this remainder is good. Let's go ahead and take this 0 and bring this down to join this 4. So now it's 40, and repeat the process. So how many times does 5 fit into 40? Well, 5 times 8 is exactly 40. So that's the number we're looking for. Fits in 8 times. So let's take this 8 multiplied by 5. That's going to be 40. And you can see here this works out nicely because the remainder here is going to be 0. So our quotient is going to be 438. Turns out that 5 fits into 2,190 438 times. Here's number 3. In number 3, we have this 2,178 divided by 3. So right here, this 2178 is going to be our dividend. So let's put 2178 inside this division house. And let's go ahead and put this 3 as our divisor to the left here. So how many times does 3 fit into 2? It's bigger than it, so it fits in 0 times. How many times does 3 fit into 21? Well, 3 times 7 is exactly 21, so let's go ahead and put a 7 up here. So 7 times 3 is going to be exactly 21, so that actually went in perfectly, so the remainder here is going to be 0. Next, let's go ahead and take this 7 and bring it down and repeat the process. Okay, so how many times does 3 fit into 7? Well, 3 fits into 7, I think 2 times, right? So let's put a 2 on top. 2 times 3 is going to be 6. And that's as close as we can get to 7. It's only off by 1, and the remainder here is 1, which makes sense. Let's go ahead and now take this 8 and bring it down. So now it's 18. And repeat the process. So 3 into 18, how many times? Well, 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is exactly 18. So 6 is the number we're looking for. Let's put a 6 up here. Now 6 multiplied by this 3 is going to be 18. And so 18 minus 18, we're going to find here is a remainder of 0. So our quotient here is going to be 726. Here's number 5. In number 5, we have 11,412 divided by 2. Let's go ahead and take this first number. This is going to be our dividend. Let's put it inside the house. So 1, 1, 4, 1, 2. And let's divide that by our divisor of 2 here. So let's see how many times 2 fits into this number. Well, start off with 2 fitting inside of 1. Well, it's bigger than it, so it's not going to fit in a whole number of times. What about 2 fitting into 11? Well, 2 times 5 is 10, but 2 times 6 is 12, which is too much, so let's go with 5. All right, so 5 times 2, that's going to be 10. Let's make sure our remainder here is less than 2. 11 minus 10 is going to be 1, so that works out. Let's take this 4 and bring it down now. So now we have 14. So let's start the process all over again. So 2 into 14. I think 2 times 7 is exactly 14, so that's good. Let's go ahead and put a 7 up here. All right, so 7 multiplied by 2, we just said was exactly 14. So the remainder here, 14 minus 14, is going to be 0. Let's go ahead and bring down this 1 and repeat the process. All right, so how many times will 2 fit into 1? Well, it's larger than it, so it's not going to fit in a whole number of times. So we're going to have to put a 0 up top. Now, what's 0 times 2? 0 times 2 is going to be 0. So we're going to see our remainder here is going to be 1, which is fine, right? It's less than 2. One final time, let's bring down a number. So bring down this 2. The 2 is going to join the 1 to make it 12 and repeat the process. So how many times will 2 fit into 12? Well, 2 times 6 is exactly 12. So let's go ahead and put a 6 up top here. And so 6 multiplied by 2 is going to be 12. And if we go ahead and subtract here, 12 minus 12 is going to be equal to 0. So the quotient in this division problem, or the answer, is going to be 5,706. All right, here is number 6. In number 6, we have 46,123 divided by 7. This right here is our dividend, and this is our divisor. Let's go ahead and put these numbers where they belong. So put 4, 6, 1, 2, 3 in the division house, and put the 7, the divisor, to the left here. So how many times does 7 fit into 4? Well, it fits in 0 whole times, so put a 0. And how many whole times does 7 fit into 46? Well, 7 times 6 is 42, and 7 times 7 is 49, which is too big, so we're going to go ahead and put a 6 here. 6 times 7 is 42. Let's go ahead and put that 42 here and make sure our remainder is less than 7. So 46 minus 42 is going to be 4, which is less than 7, which is good. Let's go ahead and bring down this 1 and repeat the process. So how many times does 7 fit into 41? Well, we just said 6 times 7 was 42, so it's going to be less than 6. Let's go with 5. And so 7 times 5 is 35, so that's going to be fine. So let's put a 5 here. 5 multiplied by 7 is going to be 35. And if you go ahead and subtract 41 minus 35, you're going to see the remainder here is going to be 6, which is less than 7, so that's good. Let's go ahead and take this 2 and bring this down. So the 2 is joining the 6 to make it 62. So how many times does 7 fit into 62? Now, 7 times 8 is 56, and 7 times 9 is 63, which is a little bit too much. So let's go with 8 here. I'm going to put an 8 up top. So 8 times 7 is going to be 56. Let's put that underneath the 62. So 62 minus 56 is going to be 6, and the remainder is less than 7, so that is good. All right, let's go ahead and bring this 3 down and repeat this process hopefully just one more time here. So let's see how many times 7 fits into 63. Well, 7 times 10 is 70, which is too much. So 7 times 9 is exactly 63, so that's good. So put a 9 here and multiply 9 times the 7, that's going to be 63. And if you go ahead and take the 63 and take away 63, the remainder is 0. So our quotient for this problem is going to be 6,589. That's how many times 7 fits into 46,123. Here's number 7. For number 7, we have 5,520 divided by 15. So let's go ahead and put these numbers in the right location. So this 5520, that's going to be our dividend, and 15 is going to be our divisor. So let's start off and see how many times 15 fits into 5. Well, it's larger than it, so it's not going to fit in a whole number of times. But does 15 fit into 55? It does. Maybe let's try something like 15 times 3. So 15 times 3 is going to be, I think that's going to be a 5, carry the 1, that's going to be 45. So that looks pretty promising. Let's just try 4 to make sure. So 15 times 4, well, 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. Then 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 60. So that's too much. So we're going to go with 3 here. All right, put a 3 up top. So 3 times 15, we just said, is going to be 45. And let's subtract to see if our remainder is less than 15. So 55 minus 45 is going to be 10. All right, that remainder is less than 15, which means we are good to go. Let's go ahead and bring this 2 down and repeat the process. So how many times does 15 fit into 102? Well, we have to go higher than 3 and 4. Let's try maybe something like 15 times 6 maybe. So 15 times 6, 5 times 6 is 30. We'll carry the 3. 6 times 1 is going to be 6 plus a 3 is going to be 9. So that's 90. So let's see if we can get a little closer. So 15 times 7, 7 times 5 is going to be 35, carry the 3, and then 7 times 1 is 7 plus a 3 is 105. So that's a little too much, so let's go with 6 here. So 15 fits into 102 6 times. Put the 6 up top, so 6 times 15 we know is going to be 90. And let's see how far off we are here. 2 minus 0 is going to be 2, then 10 minus 9 is going to be 1, so we're off by 12, and that remainder is less than 15, so that's fine. Go ahead and bring the 0 down. So now it's going to be 120, and we'll hopefully just repeat this one more time. So how many times does 15 here fit into 120? Well, we know 15 times 7 is already 105. So let's try maybe 15 times 8. So 5 times 8 is going to be 40, carry the 4. 8 times 1 is going to be 8 plus the 4 is going to be 12. So 120 is exactly what we're looking for. So 15 fits into 120 8 times. 8 times 15 is exactly 120. You can see here that our remainder is going to be 0, so it fits in evenly. And so our quotient here is going to be 368. All right, here's one final practice problem. In number 8, we have 6,396 divided by 12. Here is our dividend, here is our divisor. Our dividend is going to go inside the house, so we're going to put the 6396 on the inside of the house and put the 12 to the left of the house. So how many times does 12 fit into 6? Well, it's larger than it, so it's going to fit in 0 times. Let's see how many times 12 fits into 63. Let's maybe go ahead and do that on the side here. So 12 multiplied by 5. That's a nice easy number to maybe start with. 5 times 2 is going to be 10, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's really close to 63. So let me just show you that we can't go in 6 times. So 12 times 6, 6 times 2 is going to be 12, carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus the 1 is going to be 7, so 72 is definitely too much. So let's go with saying 12 fits into 63 5 times, right? So now 5 times 12, that's going to be 60 we just said. And let's make sure our remainder is less than 12, so 63 minus 60 is 3, and that's definitely less than 12. Just like we've been doing, let's go ahead and bring this 9 down and repeat the process. So we just have to see how many times 12 fits into 39. So let's take this 12. Let's see, 12 times 2, that is going to be 24. What about 12 times 3? 12 times 3, that's going to be 36, which is pretty close. I don't think we can fit in another time, but let's just make sure. 2 times 4 is 8, and then this 4 times 1 is going to be 4, so I think we're going to have 48. So that's definitely too much, so let's go with 3. So we know 12 fits into 39 3 times. 3 times 12 is going to be 36. Let's just confirm that our remainder is less than 12. 39 minus 36 is 3, so that's good to go. And let's go ahead and bring this 6 down and repeat the process, hopefully just one final time here. So we have 36. So how many times does 12 fit into 36? Well, we knew earlier it fits in 3 times, so let's go on top here and put a 3. So it fits in 3 times 12 we said was exactly 36. As you can see here that we have a remainder of 0. So our quotient for this final problem is going to be 533. All right, so there you have 8 different practice problems on practicing the standard algorithm for division. If you found the video helpful, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and sharing with a classmate or a friend who might also find it helpful. And as always, keep up the great work that you're already doing.